The scene begins as Irina, a beautiful blonde, boldly declares her feelings, wanting him to make her his bride once the war is over. She apologizes for saying something without thinking. Chrome looks surprised but gladly accepts her proposal. We get a glimpse of the dangers they face. A massive dragon roars and says, "Die, hero," and his companions. It fires a blast toward Irina. She blocks the attack easily with her holy shield, and another voice reminds their comrades not to forget about them. It's a chaotic battle scene. Chrome and his master together fire a combined firestorm spell. Chrome yells at Yuno. The hero slices the monster, and he thanks everyone for supporting him. We get to know more about their motive, as the demon lord was resurrected 3 years ago. Not much time passed before half of the world had already fallen into his hands. We're introduced to the hero's party: Riot, the vanguard; Farah, the swordswoman; Margot, the knight; Irina, the priest and Chrome's lover; and Vagrant, Chrome's mentor. And finally, Chrome Walker himself. The entire hero party is shown, highlighting their bond. Later, Chrome seems to be outside at night, thinking about Irina's voice and wondering if she's still awake. Chrome is then seen outside a door, overhearing Irina talking to Yuno, saying she wanted to see him too. He seems surprised and a bit suspicious, wondering why Irina is in front of Yuno's room. He overhears Irina saying, "I love you, Hiro-sama," and Yuno responding, "Yeah, me too." Chrome is clearly shocked by this revelation, noticing something going on between them. The scene intensifies as sounds of intimacy are implied behind the door. Chrome stands frozen. Chrome seems unwell, and Irina and Yuno are concerned. Despite his inner turmoil from what he overheard, Chrome tries to appear strong, stating they have a tough enemy, Frangulas, to face. The team seems supportive, vowing to protect each other. Suddenly, Chrome is struck by chains. He feels intense pain throughout his body. The forbidden arts, chains of despair, catch him completely off guard and in agony. Their mentor figure states that their hero needs more power, and for that reason, they are initiating a rite, with him as the sacrifice. This is a brutal betrayal from someone Chrome trusted. The other members of the party are present, confirming this horrifying decision. They believe this sacrifice is necessary to strengthen the hero, Yuno. Chrome desperately asks, "Why me?" as he feels his vitality being drained. The chilling rationale is given: everyone wants to survive. The deeper Chrome's despair and darkness, the more power the hero will gain. The shadowy figures overseeing the ritual state that this will only make their hero stronger. Yuno says, "Don't worry, I'll make her happy, and I won't forget you," a twisted comfort to his sacrifice. As Chrome lies weakened, he realizes he might have been naive, the only one who truly saw them as family. He questions the chains binding him, recognizing they aren't physical but magical energy. Chrome is left defenseless in a forest, now targeted by a pack of demonic sword wolves. His magic power is gone, leaving him vulnerable. Overwhelmed and betrayed by his trusted companions and the one he loved, Chrome is left for dead, considered no more than rubbish, prey for demonic beasts. He cries out in despair, not wanting to die in such a meaningless way. The system activates, and a voice speaks about the user's desire and hatred level having met the requirement. The user has received the EX skill, Fixed Damage. The voice asks, "Do you want to activate the skill?" Chrome confirms, and the skill is deployed, releasing a torrent of energy that easily breaks the cursed chain. The wolves are hit by the skill, and the voice explains the lasting effects: fixed damage every 3 seconds on all enemies within a 10-meter radius. The darkness was inherited by him. He has safely awakened. Host. He must cultivate the darkness and give himself more power. He remembers the people who betrayed him, Yuno, Irina, and the others from the hero group. The memory of their betrayal is so raw, so potent, that it fuels his new strength. Images of his tormentors, including Yuno and Irina, flash before his eyes. "They who betrayed me. I'll take my revenge." He makes a promise to himself. A 2-year time skip. Chrome is shown with a cold, hateful look on his face. They say the city is now safe because they've defeated the Demon Lord. Even when the Demon Lord has been defeated, the forest stays a dangerous place. We see a girl cornered by a group of knights. The knights remark, "What a fine woman. Give up and let us enjoy ourselves. You can't run anymore." As they had used her sister before, hearing this she gets angry, but the knights attack her and easily overpower her. Just as they are about to take her, a chilling shadow appears. A sinister presence looms over them. It's Chrome, cloaked in darkness. "The hell are you?" "We're Duke Riot's subordinates, the one who was a member of the hero's party, you know." "You're the same lowlifes as him," Chrome states. As the knights try to attack, Chrome in a flash eliminates them as the woman watches in horror. She thanks Chrome and introduces herself as Sia frame right. Was it magic you used to end those soldiers? Sia, on her knees, asks for Chrome's help. He asks what she wants from him. She looks up, her face filled with raw hatred. I'm gonna end them. I will never, ever forgive him. A flashback shows Sia's older sister. She was smart and skilled with the sword. Sia reveals the tragic truth. Her older sister was murdered by Duke Riyadh after she criticized him for oppressing the townspeople with heavy taxes. Sia, trembling, formally asks for Chrome's help, as she needs help to avenge her sister. He was a member of the strongest heroes party, as well, you know. Chrome says. She offers to compensate him for helping her. Chrome sees the same deep desire for revenge in her that he feels inside himself. I'll help you now, Chrome replies. Sia, overcome with fear, asks if he wants her body in return for his help, reflecting the twisted lessons she's learned from her sister. Chrome says Riyadh gained confidence about his power. To be honest, he is very overconfident about his power. Chrome's cold gaze is shown as he tells her that they cannot fight Duke Riyadh head-on because he is a fierce warrior protected by many guards. Duke Riyadh is shown yelling at a subordinate, "By the way, you still haven't found the guy who killed my subordinates in the town under the castle." He's enraged that an unknown intruder has dared to kill his men, and he demands their capture, not for justice, but to save his pride. As he is harassing a maid, a knight rushes in, panicked, shouting about intruders. The guards confront Chrome and Sia, taunting them. Chrome's eyes glow with a dark power. He and Sia effortlessly slice through the guards. They try to stop the duo, but they are no match for Chrome's power. He comes out to confront them. I'll make sure they regret the sin of trespassing in my own territory. Sia, enraged, shouts, I will avenge my sister. His cruel smirk widens as he recognizes the younger sister of the woman he tortured and killed. He holds up a magical ceiling as his defensive magic, a barrier crest, that can endure any attack and even withstand Demon Lord tier spells. But his confidence is shattered when the barrier takes an immense amount of damage instantly. He shouts at them, demanding, "Who the hell are you?" Chrome removes his mask and shouts his name. The Duke, scared, falls to the ground in horror. His face is filled with terror as he looks at Chrome. He realizes his barrier crest is no match for the hero's power. Don't be stupid. 9,999 DMG is enough to nearly kill even a Demon King's executive class at worst. Chrome thinks to himself that the amulet is broken now. There's nothing protecting him anymore. What are y'all standing around doing nothing for? Go cut them down. The Duke's own guards, seeing the insurmountable power before them, hesitate. They are loyal to the Duke's power and status, not to the man himself. Chrome advances on the now defenseless Duke. Riyadh begs for mercy, a pitiful sight. Please, forgive me. Chrome hears him beg. The once feared hero, Duke Riyadh, is now on his knees, pleading for his life. All his power and pride have crumbled in the face of absolute despair. Chrome looks at the cowering Duke with disgust. His voice is cold as he reminds Riyadh of their past as comrades, of the trust they once shared. He remembers fighting alongside him, risking his life for the very people who would later betray him. That idea didn't really appeal to me that much. But what I did understand was that I had to protect those close to me, the comrades I held dear. I was trampled on. I lost every single thing I considered dear to me on that day. Chrome's hand closes around Riyadh. With his revenge complete, Chrome kills the Duke. Sia watches, shocked. Was this the kind of person he was all along? We see Chrome and Sia standing before a tombstone of her sister. At her sister's grave, Sia feels a sense of finality. Her mission is complete. Sia thanks Chrome, but he looks at her with a cold, blank expression. Don't thank me. I was just taking my own revenge. He wasn't there to help her, he was there to fulfill his own dark quest, as there are more members of the hero party. Sia looks determined, staring straight ahead. I want to follow you. To get revenge, I had to throw away my life, but now I get to live another day. I know your enemies are the strongest hero party in the world. I understand the danger. Chrome has a chillingly blank face. She doesn't know. The path he's on is a blood-tainted one. Chrome says to her that he will only accept her if she understands one condition. If things get sour, I'm cutting you loose. Chrome accepts her, but with a grim warning. He is on a journey of pure vengeance, and he will not hesitate to abandon her if she becomes a liability. The High Priestess, guided by an oracle, believes Chrome is dead. She has no idea that the dead hero is on a mission of vengeance against her allies. The world's strongest hero, who defeated the demon lord with a divine saint sword, stands in the lull of a kingdom. Sia says, it seems the high priestess's investiture is taking place. The next target is in sight. It's time to take on the saintess Irina. We see Irina with the supreme priest, but suddenly, someone bursts into the room, shouting, Irina, no way, did you sleep with that man? It's Saint Knight Vance, who storms in only to find the high-ranking priest in bed with his lover, Irina. Clinging to the supreme priest, Irina claims that Vance has been chasing her for a long time. Shocked and betrayed, Vance demands, what are you talking about? Why are you with another man? The supreme priest calmly replies that he and Irina are deeply connected in both body and soul. Furious, Vance accuses her, you were just playing with my feelings. The supposed saintess, Irina, then reveals her true colors. She was never interested in Vance, only in power. You thought that just because you slept with me once or twice, the saintess Irina would automatically see you as her lover. Completely indifferent to her former lover she continues. I will climb even higher. I will seize every opportunity, by any means necessary. I allowed the supreme priest to take my body for that purpose. The scene shifts. Chrome, the protagonist, stands in a graveyard as a mysterious voice calls out to him. A shadowy figure appears. When he asks who it is, the figure answers, you're doing well so far. For now, this is as close as we can get, but we'll meet very soon. Chrome suddenly wakes up. Sia, noticing his unease, asks if something is bothering him. Then, with a teasing smile, she says, perhaps, you'd like a taste of my body. Chrome thinks to himself, since Sia got her revenge, she's slowly returning to her true self. He asks her, how does it feel now that you've avenged yourself? Sia admits that it feels like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders, but now, she's uncertain how to move forward with her life. Sensing her hesitation, she changes the subject and asks Chrome, could you please tell me what happened between you and the other members of the hero's party? Chrome looks at her solemnly and replies, it's not a very pleasant story. Shocked by his words, Sia can barely believe what she hears. Did they really do all of those awful things to you? Chrome doesn't try to convince her. He tells her that she isn't obligated to stay with him and can leave anytime she wishes. His original plan was to pursue revenge alone. But Sia shakes her head and says firmly, then I'll repay that kindness with my life. Reaching out, she takes his hand, her decision already made. I believe in you, Chrome. I want to help you. Suddenly, a voice echoes around them. Both turn toward it. Chrome recognizes it as the darkness that resides within him. The darkness speaks. Despite possessing the fixed damage skill, your physical capabilities are still hindered by the curse placed upon you. Sia's sword skills could compensate for this, but her current strength is far from enough to face the most powerful members of the hero's party. Chrome hesitates. His own abilities are restricted by the curse, forcing him to rely solely on his skill, fixed damage. But then, the voice clarifies, if Sia is recognized as his partner, he can transfer skills to her. He turns to her and asks softly, are you okay with that? Without hesitation, Sia responds, if it means I can become stronger, then I'll gladly accept. Chrome nods and agrees to share a portion of his darkness with her. The power recognizes his will, and a transformation begins. Sia's status is officially set as familiar. As she receives the power, Sia can feel a strange energy surging within her sword. Chrome observes her and comments, your sword now rivals that of a demon blade. Then, with a faint smile, he adds, would you like to test your new strength on our next target? The scene shifts once again. Irina stands surrounded by a crowd. Suddenly, Captain Vance, a holy knight, steps forward and publicly accuses the beautiful and seemingly pure saintess. Irina was my first lover. She was exactly what I dreamed of, innocent, fragile, perfect. Vance's voice trembles with rage and heartbreak as he shouts, why did you betray me, Irina? Even though I loved you, even though you were the only one for me, I gave everything for you. I even dirted my hands for your sake, yet you threw me away without a second thought, all to become the high priestess. Was I nothing more than a tool to you? The crowd begins to murmur, whispering among themselves. Did she really do that? No way, the saintess would never. Many rushed to defend her, insisting that such a pure and divine woman could never commit such sins. Irina calmly raises her hand and silences the crowd. With an angelic smile, she says, it seems Sir Vance is under some kind of curse. Allow me to pray for his soul. As she begins her monastic magic, the result is horrifying. Vance screams in agony as the spell twists his mind. It doesn't heal, it rewrites. His body collapses, his face contorted in pain, until he kneels before her, utterly broken. Under the spell's influence, he recants everything. I was just spouting nonsense. Lady Irina would never do such a thing. He apologizes to the crowd, then declares his intent to atone for his sins the only way he can. Before anyone can stop him, Vance plunges his own sword into his chest and collapses into Irina's arms. Irina looks down at him coldly and whispers, "Poor Vance. The least you could have done was rest in peace." Chrome, observing from afar, analyzes the situation. Irina's forbidden magic works through mental domination. It's a brainwashing technique that only high-ranking priests can use. She silenced him while keeping up her divine image. He turns to Sia. "Let's go." Both rush toward Irina. As the shocked crowd struggles to process Captain Vance's horrific, a dark-robed figure emerges, Chrome. He steps forward, facing the self-proclaimed saintess. Irina narrows her eyes and commands, "Fuad, capture him." Chrome quickly gauges the guards surrounding her. Their power level is clearly different from the average Ryot soldier. Killing them would be a waste of time. Irina smirks confidently. "There's no need to be afraid. After all, I'm a member of the heroes' party." She tilts her head slightly and asks, "So, what business do you have with me?" But before Chrome can answer, an attack suddenly comes flying toward him. He narrowly dodges it. Irina's eyes widen in shock as Chrome calmly explains, "That was one of your own high-grade spells, an attack that doesn't require chanting. You pretended to listen to me, only to strike the moment my guard was down." Chrome remained calm and composed. Before they began, he issued 2 warnings to the saintess. First, no matter what attacks you use, they won't touch me. Second, if you get within a 10-meter radius of me, you'll die instantly. The surrounding knights cried out in unison. "We're the knights who pledged to protect the saintess." Chrome replied coolly, suggesting they take his advice. "It'd be troubling for me if you died so easily." The knights shouted back, "We don't care about our lives." Chrome gave a single command, "Sia, destroy all the guards' weapons," as a warning. Sia moved effortlessly. In an instant she shattered every weapon the guards held. The knights, stunned, stammered, we couldn't follow her movements. What are you? A monster." Chrome answered plainly, "As you just witnessed, anything within a 10-meter radius of me will be destroyed." Swiftly and silently, Sia slipped behind the saintess and restrained her. "Try anything funny, and you know what will happen." Chrome addressed everyone present, "If any one of you approaches me, you will end up dead." The crowd panicked at the display of power. People scattered and fled. They took Irina to an old, abandoned building and threw her inside. From within, she cried out in a terrified, trembling voice, "What do you want from me?" A shadowed figure replied from the darkness, "Who am I?" "I am someone you know very well." When he removed his mask, Irina froze. "You can't be Chrome," she gasped. He answered coldly, "I survived thanks to you. I acquired certain power because of it. Enough about me. Let's move on to your judgment, saintess." Chrome's voice left no room for mercy. Irina begged, "Chrome, please, don't do anything to me." "All right. Let's hear what you have to say," he said. "First, I want the truth. Why was I chosen as the sacrifice? What were your true motives when you asked me to marry you that day?" Chrome added, "You understood how my skill works, didn't you?" Irina's composure cracked as the conversation turned to the past. Irina's eyes widened in shock as thoughts raced through her mind. "I was aware that Ryot was murdered a few days ago, but by whom?" Chrome's cold voice cut through her panic. "Try using your perception spell. As the High Priestess, you should be able to sense darkness." Hesitantly, Irina activated her perception magic. The moment she did, her expression twisted in disbelief. How can someone withstand this much darkness alone?" Chrome's tone was calm, almost indifferent. "Weren't you already aware of how the curse works? Needed enough light to defeat the demon lord, so I obtained the same amount, but in darkness." Irina's fear deepened. She fell to her knees, pleading, "Please, forgive me, Chrome." His voice turned harsh, cutting through her words. "I don't want to hear your excuses. I want the truth. Stop feeding me lies." She trembled under his gaze. Finally, she began to speak. It was a forbidden art, the chains of despair. Its power absorbs the hatred and despair of its target, creating darkness. That darkness is then converted into light, which is transferred to the chosen person. Chrome's eyes narrowed. "In other words, you used me to generate darkness, so could gain the light he needed. Am I right?" Irina nodded weakly. "To deepen your despair, I decided to propose to you. When the time came, your suffering would make the darkness stronger. As for why you were chosen, I'm not sure. It was Valerie and who suggested it. I don't know their reasons." Chrome's voice hardened. "So you intended to betray me from the start?" Irina shook her head desperately. No, that's not true." His glare pierced her. "The same night you proposed to me, you went to Yuno's room, didn't you?" Irina looked away, guilt filling her face. I had a dream I wanted to fulfill. I didn't want to remain just another priestess. I wanted to become a saintess whose story would be passed down through generations. Chrome's voice dropped, heavy with disgust. So you switched to his side, just like that. Irina's lips twisted into a broken, almost manic smile. You're the only one I loved. I still regret it even now. I've always loved you, from the bottom of my... Before she could finish, Sia moved. In a flash, she swung her blade severing Irina's leg. Irina screamed in agony as she collapsed to the ground. Chrome's voice was emotionless. Your arms are next. Through her screams, Irina gasped. Wait, I was drugged. Chrome stepped closer, unshaken. I've been gathering information about you for the last 2 years, Irina. Scheming, seducing, assassinating, you've certainly kept yourself busy. Chrome's expression hardened, his voice dripping with disgust. Nothing but calculations in your mind, always manipulating any man you could to get what you wanted. How the hell did I ever fall in love with someone like you? He looked away, bitterness rising in his chest. And honestly, I don't think I ever want to know. Irina, trembling, tried to smile through her tears. Let's go back to how things were, to being lovers again. I'll let you embrace me as much as you want. Money isn't a problem either, so, what do you say to that? Her voice quivered with desperation. You still have feelings for me, don't you? Chrome's reply was cold and cutting. That woman over there, he said, glancing at Sia, is nowhere near you. He paused for a moment, then continued. We were lovers once, weren't we? However, I have 2 conditions. Irina blinked in confusion, her hope flickering. First, Chrome said, I want you to confess everything the Heroes Party did. Record every detail of the events that happened 2 years ago, in your own voice. As the Supreme Priestess, you should be able to do something like that, right? With your power, it should be possible to save a voice recording that can't be duplicated. He stepped closer, his shadow swallowing the light around her. Second, become my servant. Irina's breath caught in her throat. I can turn a target into my kin, Chrome explained. To put it simply, a servant is one who receives a share of my power. To bring the one who betrayed her lover down to the level of a servant, that's fitting humiliation, isn't it? Irina bit her lip, then bowed deeply. I shall serve you, Chrome. Inwardly, she thought, if I can save my life by doing this, I'll bow as many times as I need to. Chrome turned to the darkness within him. If someone becomes my kin, they won't be affected by fixed damage, correct? The darkness responded. A kin will be unable to harm you as well. Chrome nodded. Then, Irina, become my kin. He extended his hand, and his command echoed through the shadows. Irina, familiar status, set. Dark energy enveloped her body. With this, you are now my kin. Swear your loyalty to me. Irina bowed her head, her voice hollow. I am at your disposal. Chrome's tone softened, but only slightly. All right, my servant. I'll give you power. It must be inconvenient to have lost your limbs, so I'll return your mobility, at least. He raised his hand. Accept this blessing, my kin, Irina. The skill I grant you is beastification. Irina's body twisted violently as black energy surged through her. Her limbs regenerated, but they were no longer human. Her skin darkened, claws sprouted from her hands, and her face contorted into something monstrous. Sia gasped in horror. Irina had been completely transformed into a beast. Chrome's eyes remained cold. Now go. Do some work as a proper saintess this time, for the sake of the people. Irina screamed in terror, stumbling as she fled the building. My face, my body, she wailed. I am the saintess Irina. I was meant to be worshipped. Men from all over the world were supposed to kneel before me. Her voice echoed into the distance, filled with rage and despair. Such a future was supposed to be waiting for me. Irina's cries faded into the distance. Chrome stood holding a dark sphere in his hand. Sia, watching him, asked, was that person your ex-lover? Chrome turned to her and replied quietly, it's all over now. Those feelings I had for her are long gone. Sia squeezed his hand. You saved me before. I want to save you if I can. Hearing you say that is enough for me. Then she asked, where are we heading next? He answered, the next target is my former magic master, the sage Valerie. Elsewhere, 2 girls whispered together. Did you know one of the women they used as a test subject ran away? The one in the maid outfit, right? What a waste, but it doesn't matter. That girl's going to die anyway. Chrome and Sia moved through a forest. Sia peered ahead nervously. Chrome, is this the right place? Yes. Valerie keeps his research facility somewhere around here, Chrome said. He used to talk about these labs a lot. I'm choosing a risky route on purpose so we're less likely to be seen. Don't get too far from me, he added. Sia seized the moment and clung to Chrome. He replied, half amused, you don't have to literally stay glued to me. He wondered to himself if she was trying to comfort him now that things with Irina were done. Suddenly they heard a scream. Sia dashed toward the sound while Chrome warned, "If it's dangerous, come back immediately." Standing there, Chrome muttered in frustration at his own body, "It's irritating that my body can't move as freely as it should." Sia fought off a pack of beasts, then noticed someone hiding nearby who seemed terrified. The girl stammered for them to stay back. "I'm scared of you," she admitted to Chrome. "You give off a very suspicious aura." Chrome told Sia, "You can be rude sometimes." The girl hurriedly tried to explain herself. "No, it's not that. He does look scary. Being near him only brings trouble. I attract evil." She introduced herself as Yahello. "A few weeks ago I was kidnapped and taken to a lab. They used me as an experimental subject and carved this crest into me. I escaped when I had the chance, but the scent I give off grows stronger at night and it attracts monsters." Chrome asked bluntly, "Were you perhaps trying to draw the monsters to yourself, hoping they'd kill you?" Yahello's voice trembled. "A large number of innocent people fell victim to this curse." Then she added, "My skill will annihilate any enemy that comes near us." Chrome's tone sharpened. "Who performed the technique on you? Who's the sorcerer?" Sia reassured Yahello, "Don't worry, Chrome's abilities are the real deal." Yahello still looked frightened. "He might kill me if I tell him everything," she whispered. Chrome replied with blunt logic, "In your current situation, your choices are limited. If you want to survive, ask for help." The one who performed the technique was a member of the hero's party, Valerie, the sage. Chrome nodded. "We were actually tracking his location until we found you. Will you guide us to where he is, Yahello? We might be able to undo the technique he used on you." Yahello's eyes filled with hope. "If I lead you to the laboratory, can my body become normal again?" "There's a possibility," Chrome answered, "but nothing is guaranteed." She said she wanted to see her family and friends again, then steeled herself and declared, "I will guide you to Valerie's laboratory." Sia brightened. "I'll definitely protect you, Yahello." Chrome added pragmatically that, with his current skill, he could finish off any enemies they faced. He wasn't worried about being attacked. Suddenly, Yahello stared at Chrome and admitted, embarrassed, "I'm worried because Chrome is a man. My sister told me men are animals." Yahello's eyes widened. "So Chrome was really coveting my body," she blurted. Sia laughed it off. "Certainly not. Why would you immediately think that?" Someone called to Micah. "Hey, Micah, heard you've been getting a lot of visits from Valerie lately." Micah protested, "That's not true. It's the same as everyone else." Another sneered, "Oh come on. Of the 7 of us, you've been called to his bed more than the rest of us combined." It became clear, all of them were Valerie's paramours. They hoped that, by winning more of Valerie's favor, they might receive a secret about magic. Suddenly someone shouted, "There's someone getting close to the lab." Monsters guarding the facility rushed out, but they were no match for the intruders. The attackers cut through magical traps and beasts with terrifying ease. One apprentice gaped, "Is this the power of darkness? Even for someone who uses darkness, this is a level I haven't reached." "Invoking darkness is one thing," another whispered. "Mastering it is another." Valerie ordered, "You should all go together. This intruder is no ordinary person. If you combine your efforts, he shouldn't be a match." The apprentices stepped forward to block Chrome and his companions. "We won't let you pass," they declared. "We'll kill you for our beloved Valerie." "Urin, who are they?" he asked. "They're Valerie's apprentices. They keep the test subjects in line. They treat the subjects like tools. They destroy and kill them without a thought." Chrome demanded, "What have you done with the subjects in the lab?" An apprentice sneered back, "There's no reason to be attached to mere experimental material that could form the foundation of our magical research." Then they attacked. Chrome coldly praised them, "Well done. You're probably better mages than I was when I was in the hero's party." But their magic failed to affect Chrome. Shocked, they cried, "Why did our magic disappear?" Chrome glanced up. "Where's Valerie?" he asked. A frightened apprentice stammered, "The lowest level of the laboratory, the wise man's chamber. Valerie is in the middle of a ritual 2 doors down from there." Chrome's voice went ice cold. The apprentice begged, insisting he was different from the others. But Chrome answered without mercy, "You won't be forgiven for taking so many lives." Then Chrome ended the apprentice's life. Another figure stepped forward, Micah, one of Valerie's apprentices. "What exactly is your purpose in coming here?" she demanded. Chrome replied calmly, "I'm not Valerie's friend. You could say I'm here on an errand." Micah tried to defend Valerie. "Valerie is a wonderful mage. He's created techniques that have contributed greatly to the world of magic." Chrome cut her off coldly, "By performing repeated human experimentation." Micah insisted, "It's a noble sacrifice for the world. I respect Valerie from the bottom of my heart." Chrome's voice was blunt, "Because you're Valerie's lover, right? That isn't respect, it's love, lust, or self-interest." Humiliated, Micah fled. Sia suggested they follow, but Chrome refused. We should move on. Sia forced a laboratory door open. Inside, rows of people were trapped in glass chambers, crying for help. Yahello cried out, "They're test subjects, just like me." Chrome ordered Sia to free them. "Whoever can move, go as fast as you can," he said, and they did. As Chrome walked through the ruined facility, he saw a chamber that depicted the Chain of Darkness, a spell he had discovered in an ancient ruin 2 years ago. Valerie suddenly appeared and demanded, "Why are you still alive?" Chrome answered coolly, "What? You're upset that your beloved apprentice is still alive?" Valerie sneered, "What do you mean by beloved apprentice? Exactly, did you acquire the power of darkness?" Before Chrome answered, he fired back with his own question. "If you want information from me, answer this first: how do I remove the scent of darkness from Yahello?" Valerie's expression shifted. "The records for the scent of darkness are stored in orb number 327, the same number as that girl," he said. "If you can retrieve that darkness, the rest of our research won't matter." Valerie's voice trembled with excitement. "It is the pinnacle of magic, the culmination of everything I've sought for over 40 years. And still, I have not reached it." Chrome narrowed his eyes. "What is the power of darkness, anyway?" Valerie began to explain, his tone turning almost reverent. "There once existed a civilization, a world utterly unlike our own. It was called Lemuseria, an ancient civilization that flourished millions of years ago. Their technology and understanding of magic were far more advanced than anything we possess today. It was said to be an era of unimaginable prosperity, until the mysterious disaster known only as the Great Calamity struck." He continued, "The magic we know today is merely a diluted version of Lemuserian techniques, fragments discovered and modified over centuries. In their original form, their magic is far too advanced for modern humans to comprehend." Chrome replied evenly, "Yes, I know that." Valerie smiled thinly. "Then you must recall the forbidden spell found in those ancient ruins, the Chain of Darkness. The Chain of Darkness begins by creating darkness from a chosen sacrifice. In response to that darkness, light is born." Chrome clenched his fists. "So in other words, I was sacrificed to give the hero immense power. And Irina's betrayal that day, it was all planned to fill me with grief and hatred." Valerie nodded. "Precisely. The greater the darkness born within the sacrifice, the greater the light that can be drawn forth. You were chosen because you were the purest among the hero's party. The purer and more innocent the soul, the deeper the darkness that can be created from it." Chrome's voice hardened. "Then tell me, why is my magic fading? Why is my body deteriorating?" Valerie explained coldly, "Because all the magic of the sacrifice is consumed as a catalyst to create darkness. These devices you see here, they don't just cause pain, they also drain magic from the subjects. I tried to replicate the Chain of Darkness, but every attempt failed. Unlike you, the subjects merely lost their physical strength. None could withstand the process." Chrome demanded, "What exactly is darkness and light, anyway?" Valerie's eyes gleamed. "They appear to be immense energies that exist in a space beyond this world. Whether they are mere energy or entities with will and consciousness, that remains unknown. I have studied darkness for decades. It seems that only those with the holy attribute, such as heroes, can control light. But darkness can be wielded by any magician." As he spoke, Valerie raised his staff. "Lemuseria's prohibition," he chanted, his magic surging. "Now is the time for me to take your darkness." An invisible force surged through the room. "The source of your power is darkness," Valerie declared. "If it's blocked, you can't use your skills. You'll be nothing more than a man stripped of both magic and strength, a husk cursed by the Chain of Darkness." Sia rushed forward, but Valerie countered effortlessly, trapping her in midair with a binding spell. "The girl who shares part of your darkness will make an excellent test subject," he sneered. Laughing maniacally, Valerie said, "2 years ago, I cast you out for being talentless. I thought you worthless. But now, it seems you'll be my most valuable experiment after all." Chrome gritted his teeth, his body racked with pain. "This pain doesn't bother me. It's nothing compared to the agony of despair you inflicted on me 2 years ago," he thought bitterly. A memory flashed through his mind, the day he had first met his master. "Why do you wish to study under me?" Valerie had asked. Chrome had answered earnestly, "There's a girl I like. I want to become strong enough to be worthy of her. I can see your potential. But more than that, I like the purity in your eyes. Perhaps you could give me what I truly desire." He had then warned him, "Training will be harsh, Chrome. Are you prepared?" Back in the present, Valerie sneered that his apprentices were his most important. As Valerie spoke, the darkness within Chrome spoke back. The user's despair and hatred had increased beyond a threshold. The second level of Chrome's darkness had been reached, the restraining wave of Lemuseria's prohibition had been disabled. Valerie was stunned. "How did you counteract Lemuseria's prohibition? It conceal even Demon Lord class darkness." Chrome's reply was quiet, hateful. You gave me this power. Hatred, anger, sadness, and the desire to kill you all made me stronger. My darkness grew. Valerie stammered, darkness can grow. Chrome answered, now is the time for my revenge. I'll take away what you cherish most. He reminded Valerie that the devices in the room drained subjects' magic. Then, coldly, he ordered Sia to prepare the machine. Valerie begged, furious and terrified, you won't drain all my magic. With my research, humanity's magical civilization has advanced. Chrome cut him off without pity. You condemned countless people to despair for that progress. Today I end your cruelty. He announced Valerie's life's work was over and that Valerie would now live forever with the despair he had caused. Yahello stood trembling. Chrome apologized to her and promised, let's find a way to break the scent of darkness. While they searched for a cure, Sia discovered an orb labeled Forbidden Spell, Chain of Darkness. This orb contains the records of the spell cast on you, she said, but added it seemed to be missing content. Micah, one of Valerie's disciples, was found clutching the records, stunned and unwilling to accept her master's defeat. Sia returned with news. I investigated the perimeter and found one of Valerie's disciples, a kid named Micah, in a village 2 kilometers away. Yeline's eyes lit. It had to be her village. Chrome told them he would need more time to break Yeline's curse. She forgave him, insisting he first save as many test subjects as possible. Sia volunteered to go after Micah first, warning, Chrome's power will kill Micah instantly. We won't get a chance to question him otherwise. Chrome replied evenly, remember, he was Valerie's best disciple. He's an Imperial Court-class magician. Be careful. Sia traveled through the woods and encountered a massive stone beast attacking a villager. She struck it down, but the villager died. Her sword evolved in that desperate instant and, empowered by her grief, she severed the regenerating rock beast's head. Yet another wave rose to attack. In the village, Micah stood surrounded by the townspeople. She read the orb and realized the truth. Valerie had created light using Chrome as the base. Because Chrome had been Valerie's disciple for so long, he could be pushed to the deepest despair, enabling the chain of darkness. Micah concluded she would have to exchange quality for quantity, extract the equivalent hatred and desperation from many people instead of one soul. She turned to the crowd and, with a chilling calm, announced her plan. Give me all your negative emotions, your fear, your hatred, your despair. Give it all to me so I can complete the ritual, she demanded. As long as darkness existed, there would always be light. Chrome and Yahello entered the village only to find chaos. Sia lay on the ground, badly wounded, while Micah stood before them, eyes gleaming with madness. She unleashed a volley of glowing holy arrows at Chrome, but he didn't even flinch. There's no need to dodge or cut it, he said coldly. We just need to erase it. The arrows vanished before they could touch him. I will avenge my master, the man you dared trample on. Chrome turned to Sia and Yahello. Get away from me. I'll destroy her light before she destroys anyone else. He narrowed his eyes at Micah. Were you the one who stole the orb containing the notes on the chains of darkness? Micah's expression twisted with contempt. Those notes were as valuable as the men who made them. No matter what you do to me, I'll never hand them over. Someone like you doesn't deserve them. She attacked again, but her magic dissolved into nothingness as soon as it touched Chrome. Undeterred, she conjured a massive magic circle around herself, its glow pure and blinding. My light isn't limited to the holy arrows from before, she shouted. Your evil power can't reach me. You stole my beloved's dream, his aspirations. I'll never forgive you. Chrome's voice was low and bitter. He was the one who ruined my life first. She can use the dead villagers as her familiars. That was enough to make Chrome snap. In a blur, he disappeared and reappeared behind Micah, his voice a whisper edged with fury. Do you understand what you've done? You'll never be forgiven. As Micah tried to escape, a familiar voice echoed in Chrome's mind. Looks like your awakening is progressing, my host, said Darkness. Chrome frowned. What's the matter, Darkness? You rarely speak to me out of nowhere. Light and darkness strengthen one another, it replied. If you continue to feed the darkness, you'll awaken a new power. Before Chrome could respond, a dark gate materialized before him. Without hesitation, he stepped through, and the world around him shifted. He found himself standing in a vast, shadowed realm. This is the first time we've met face to face, said a woman's voice. A figure emerged, elegant and dangerous, eyes gleaming like obsidian. It's confusing if you keep calling me Darkness. From now on, call me Rakshasa. She smiled faintly. We are in Cliffith, a world where darkness runs deeper than in your own. Chrome tensed. Now isn't the time for idle talk. Sia and Yahello are waiting for me. I need to go back. Rakshasa interrupted gently. Don't worry. Time flows differently here. By the time you return, not even a second will have passed in your world. She stepped closer, her her tone softening. You want more power, don't you? Then you'll have to meet it. Chrome exhaled sharply. Can you get to the point already? Rakshasa chuckled. It's a woman's job to tease a gentleman, my host. And besides, it's thanks to you that I can take this form. He gave her a wary look. What are you talking about? You're special, she explained. No one has ever harbored darkness as strong as yours. Most of my previous hosts could only hear my voice, some even died the moment I entered them. Originally, the chain of darkness should have drained your life completely. You should have died, but instead, you used that darkness to replenish your vitality, to keep yourself alive. Chrome's eyes widened. I was supposed to die. Rakshasa nodded. Your body is weaker now, but your vitality surpasses that of ordinary humans. You've become something else entirely. She took his hand gently. From now on, I'll lend you my strength. Wield the darkness however you wish, my host. She gestured forward. It seems we've arrived at our destination. Before them stretched a vast, black lake, the heart of Cliffith. At the bottom of that lake lies the origin of all darkness, Rakshasa said softly. Hidden within is Nereku. A distant, echoing voice called out to Chrome from beneath the surface. He asked quietly, is that Nereku's voice? Rakshasa shook her head. No, it's calling only for you. Chains of shadow began to form around him. Didn't you notice? She said with a faint smile. As your darkness deepens, it begins to materialize, just like those chains. Your body, too, is changing. That's a bond with Nereku, so to speak, Rakshasa said. The sacrifice tied to the forbidden curse, the chains of darkness. She explained what the chains did. They normally drained every last ounce of strength and life from their victim, forcing them to die. But if the bindings were somehow removed, the sacrifice could connect to that darkness and absorb its powers. At that moment, she murmured, the chains bound me. Seek greater power, she told him, and strengthen your connection with me. You will gain ever greater darkness. Pour in your anger, sorrow, hatred, every negative emotion. Chrome asked if anyone else wielded powers like his. Rakshasa answered that a few did, but the easiest way to transfer one's darkness to another was to deepen a personal bond. The quickest route was to make the target your lover or girlfriend, as he had done. Chrome felt a chill. I have a bad feeling. Rakshasa replied that something faintly like light had entered Cliffith. Chrome pushed, desperate. Where is he? Is it someone I know? Rakshasa sounded oddly obsessed. Strategically, Chrome thought, they shouldn't meet unprepared. He needed to face the men and hear the truth from his own mouth. A few hours earlier, in the castle of Legios, the blue demon dragon gathered. Yuno and Farah stood among the heroes. Yuno thought back to the war's fallout. Riyadh had been killed, Saintess Irina was missing, and everything had spiraled out of control. Irina had once been Chrome's girlfriend, and Yuno still couldn't control his feelings for her. When Valerie had asked who should be used as the sacrifice for the chains of darkness, Yuno had suggested Chrome. Irina had secretly told Yuno she had feelings for him, and Yuno had vowed, I won't let it end like this. Once this war is over, I'll find you, Irina. A demon welcomed them. This was Legios, once the strongest force in the Demon King's army. He proclaimed the Demon King Vilgarodimus dead, but vowed to continue his legacy, to form a new Demon King army. Farah, the successor of an old school of illusion swordsmanship, suppressed Legios' flames with her own prana. Yuno warned her to stand back. In a private, troubled thought, he considered that if anything happened to Irina, Farah might be a suitable successor as a lover. Yuno concentrated on the enemy before him. He called upon light, let me have great power. As he struck the demon, a blinding flare of flame erupted, and Yuno's life flashed before his eyes. His system announced, transferring to Cliffith, the door has already opened. As he is transported we see Chrome standing behind him.